America's federal government should be of the people, by the people, and for the people. But with H.R. 51, America's government will become of the Democrats, by the Democrats, and for the Democrats. Let's be clear what H.R. 51 is all about. It's about Democrats adding 2 new progressive U.S. senators to push a radical agenda championed by the Squad to reshape America into the socialist utopia they always talk about. If you doubt me, just listen to what our colleague, Congressman Jamie Raskin, recently told the Washington Post. He said, and I quote, "There's a national political logic for D.C. statehood, too, because the Senate has become the principal obstacle to social progress across a whole range of issues," unquote. So there we have it. H.R. 51 is not really about voting representation. It's about Democrats consolidating their power in Washington. There are numerous problems with H.R. 51. Mainly, it's flatly unconstitutional. Every Justice Department, from President Kennedy's to President Obama's, has been consistent that a constitutional amendment is needed to grant the district statehood. Robert F. Kennedy said granting D.C. statehood without a constitutional amendment was inconceivable. He also said granting D.C. statehood as attempted by H.R. 51 would produce an absurdity. This absurdity is the 23rd Amendment, which acknowledges the existence of a federal district warranting 3 electoral college votes. While H.R. 51 includes an expedited process for the 23rd Amendment's repeal in Congress, the problem is this would not happen until after D.C. becomes a state. This would create mass confusion as H.R. 51 was reviewed by the courts for years. The Constitution is the foundational document upon which all the laws of our country rest, and Congress cannot simply dismiss it with sham legislation. But that's what H.R. 51 attempts to do. Democrats want to rewrite the Constitution without going through the proper process of doing so. During our committee's markup of H.R. 51, I offered an amendment that would assure the 23rd Amendment's repeal prior to statehood being granted, but Democrats opposed this amendment. Why are Democrats pushing such a problematic bill through the House? Why are they working so hard to advance D.C. statehood instead of pursuing a constitutional amendment that would engage the entire country through a process intended by our founding fathers? Because they know Americans have firmly rejected D.C. statehood. I urge my colleagues to vote with the vast majority of Americans and reject this unconstitutional and impractical bill. I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentlemen.